Hello there, morons. It's Victor, King of the Morons, here with another laundry video. Couldn't get the first sentence out of my mouth. Look at that. This is take two. I'm using the old SLR camera. I haven't used this in a while. Got that set up. Like Mully has it in his. If you haven't checked out Mully Warmouth Strat, he does it there too. Sipping a little whiskey. You know how I like to sip my whiskey. This is Johnny Drum. Gonna take a straight bourbon whiskey. And I'm answering a question from lawyers this evening. The first question came to me about 4 days ago. And I wasn't going to answer it. I kind of glossed over it in a previous, I think it was on the Reddit video, I don't remember. But it apparently got someone else's attention and they emailed me. And they're also a lawyer, or maybe not. No, he's one of those. He's an executive. Anyway, so the first guy emails me and asks me, he's got 2 degrees, 2 kinds of legal law degrees or something from England, from the London universities, and he has a future there as a successful. What's wrong? I'm stumbling here. By the way, this is a laundry video, so you don't have to listen. You don't have to watch. Just listen. That's why it's called laundry video. I just answer questions. Anyway, this lawyer, just about to be a lawyer. He's graduated, and he has a future in London as a lawyer, but he has decided that he wants to come to Japan and teach, but he's not a native English speaker. He's actually from another country. I believe it was Greece. And he wants to know what his chances are, if the fact that he's not a native will hurt him, or the fact that he has 2 master levels, he's got a master's in something else. Those 2 degrees will actually help him boost his chances of getting a job. Basically, you're overqualified is a short answer. You don't need, if you want to be really simplistic, and to echo a friend of mine's English, you're just here to be a trained monkey. Of course, that's a worst case situation. I mentioned in the video in a previous video, which I don't remember which one. I said, why would you want to come to Japan to be an English teacher when you could come to Japan to be a lawyer? And that was my advice, that was my thinking. And I got this other email from another guy who is what was his job? I forgot what was his job. I forgot what he is. Let me see. He's a financier of something. He works in finance in London, and he wants to do the same thing. He wants to move to Japan, but he's thinking you need Japanese. Okay, and of course, ideally, yeah, it's if you studied Japanese law and you studied whatever international law, and you come over here with Japanese under your belt as a speaker, probably the Nihongo no Ryoku Shiken Ikkyu, what is that, JLPT level 1. Of course, that's going to boost your chances of getting a job. But there are a lot of business cultures here. The business cultures have been cultivated. And there are actually many companies that have deemed English to be their official company language. There's a company here called Rakuten, Rakuten, very famous. They sell stuff online like a big Yahoo and stuff, and I don't know what else they do, but they're huge. They actually own a baseball team as well. And they are one of these companies that you have to speak English there. And it's a Japanese company, and the majority of their staff are Japanese. But, officially their language, the way they do business, all emails and everything's got to be done in English. So if you got a job at one of those companies, of course, it would be a piece of cake, And you have to remember, they import tons of high-level executive coaches, managers. The president from Nissan was from France. Did he speak Japanese? I honestly don't know, but I kind of doubt it. And even if he didn't, that probably would not be the reason they wouldn't hire him. I mean, he's the president of I don't know what he did before, so I'm sure someone knows, but he was that level of executive where the Japanese company wouldn't care, if he spoke the language or not. They just hire a translator to do the work, or bilingual secretaries can take care of that for him. So there's always that. Worst case scenario, if you go to Japan to be an English teacher, you'll get, worst case scenario, 180,000 yen a month, which is about $1,800. Worst case scenario, you'll have to be, you're paying 70,000 yen, or $700, basically a third of your salary on rent. Okay? very few days off, a lot of work. If it's a bad company, you might be working 30 or 40 hours a week. And you might think that's not much, right? But teaching on your feet and actually speaking for that much of time, that's a lot of time. That doesn't even count the commuting time or the preparation time. Now, someone like me, I've been doing this forever, 23 years. I don't have to prepare at all. I could probably wing every single class, with just an idea. Seriously. And I've had to do that before, and I do a pretty damn good job, If I have a whiteboard, even just a piece of paper, I can do it. But you guys aren't going to be able to do that because you're coming over. And even if you're a very intelligent lawyer, and I'm not mocking you or anything, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to prepare. You'd have to think about it. If you're a conscientious person, So when I kind of laugh at the idea of stepping down because you put all that work in to become a lawyer. And why would you throw it all away to become an English teacher? When on an economic level, it's much lower. And you might think, well, Victor, I'm not judging you on your job because I really don't give a shit what your job is. I don't care if you're a lawyer, doctor, whatever. That's not how I see you. I've got lots of friends who have these great jobs deemed by society to be great jobs, but they're not great people. They're either good people or they're assholes. It doesn't matter. The job doesn't define them. That's what I'm saying. Your job doesn't define you. I'm not one of those people who thinks that. I could leave teaching tomorrow. I would still be me, right? Now, there was a time when I wasn't like that, and I'm sure there will be a time for you as well, especially if you're younger, where you define yourself by your job, and you see yourself that way, and when you lose that, it hurts. You lose your identity, and you want to define yourself. Everyone's trying to figure out who they are. So, being able to say to yourself, look in the mirror and say, I am a teacher, or I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, whatever. Those things are great. That's a great way. It's comforting to be able to say that. Without that, what are you? But I'm here to tell you that you are you despite your job. So don't make the mistake that I did and define yourself by your job. You're much more than that. All of us are more than our jobs, okay? So I don't give a shit about that. But pause. And who wants to work in the first place? That's really my question. Wouldn't we all rather be on the beach or just doing what we enjoy, which is probably sex for most of you, but probably not, and hopefully not with yourself. But wouldn't you rather be doing something else? Enjoying yourself, having fun, improving yourself in ways that you want to, not ways that the company wants you to improve, right? So when I say things like that, I'm basically thinking about your freedom. If you come to Japan as a lawyer, you have a higher possibility of making a lot more money, which means you can stop working earlier. But at the same time, you also might lose a lot of time. I don't know how much I better not talk about him, but there's a certain YouTuber I know here in Japan who has a part-time job. Well, barely works at all. And he's got like 3 or 4, he's got 1, 2, 3, well, he's got 4 days off a week, right? Which is great. He works 3 days a week, He's got a lot of time. That's wonderful. Half of me, I really envy that. I work 6 days a week. Sometimes 7, earning while I can. So that's the only thing I had to say about that. Now, and again, if you're a lawyer who is not a native speaker and you want to teach English, good luck. That's going to be hard. I mean, why would they hire you when they could hire someone who can do it and isn't a lawyer? Yeah, actually, just even thinking of hiring a lawyer, if I were an employer, I would be thinking, this guy's a lawyer. He's going to expect so much more. But you get a kid who's 21 years old, just out of college. That kid's not going to ask for much. He'll be happy with whatever you give him, right? And you want happy employees, right? I would say you're probably overqualified. Now, about a year and a half ago, I was asked to develop a curriculum for a university, and they were going to start their law program. And I was too busy, and the talks never really went past a certain stage, so nothing ever happened. But I suppose if you were to fall into that situation, that would be great. That would be perfect for you. But those situations are few and far between, so I wouldn't come here looking for that particular thing. A lot of people think, I can teach business, but no. So again, you don't really need Japanese if you're a really high-level person. If you can come over here doing something else, by all means do it, You can always teach English if you really want to, but most people don't really enjoy it, or are not good at it, and it's a lot of work. There's a lot of competition out there. You can eventually get into a good situation, like I am, like a lot of people are, but it's a lot of work. You might get that job right off the bat. I know people who've done that too, but there's a lot of competition. But there are jobs here, and there are always people who are leaving. So if you want to come over and teach, that's fine. But just know that, right? But if you can find another way, I think. You can always be an English teacher, but getting here and doing something else is I think, much more challenging, and in the end, might be a little bit more interesting. Anyway, that's the answer. Thanks for writing, and I'll talk to you guys soon. We've got another one coming up right up after this.